Alrighty guys, welcome back to part 2 of Princess Evangile. In our last episode, we basically are homeless because our father was a deadbeat. We had a bunch of debt, he passed on to us, we had to leave because we were getting stalked out by loan sharks. And we came across Rise here, who was being attacked by some uniformed people who we're still not sure of. And we're getting to introductions now. So, my name is Rosanin Rise. I'm gonna call it Rise just because Persona 4. That's how I remember. As we went about our introductions, I was hoping she would say something that would trigger a memory, but nothing came. It's an unusual name, and she's gorgeous. I'm sure I would remember her. Maybe I made a mistake before. I'm Okanogi Messiah. Okanogi Messiah-san. It's nice to meet you. Likewise. She didn't seem to recognize my name, so this was definitely our first meeting. By the way, there's something I've been wondering. Are we heading for the shops around the station? Yes, why? Rosanin-san, are you sure those people won't come after you? They must be searching for you by now. Well, first off, if you like, you can call me Rise. In exchange, I hope I can call you Messiah-san. Right. I'd only known one girl let me address her by her given name. To address Rise-san by her first name, after all, after we just met, made me hesitant and self-conscious. However, she seemed to think it was completely natural. I know what you're thinking. Normally I would have to do whatever it takes to make sure they don't find me. But I believe I'm halfway to my goal already, so I don't mind if they do find me. What? Halfway to your goal? I'll tell you about it after dinner. Though it might be more appropriate to say that there's something I hope to ask you over dinner. Is that alright? Oh, sure. I'm sorry, I know it's difficult to respond when I haven't fully explained myself. When she said she wanted to speak to me, I guess she wasn't just making a pass after all. It sounded serious based on the way she was speaking, but we'd only just met. What could she possibly want to talk to me about? Well, I'll find out soon enough. I noticed that you speak very politely, Rise-san. Oh, do I? She seemed surprised by that. If she wasn't even aware of it, she must have been born into money. I'm sorry if it sounds strange. I've spoken this way ever since I was a child. Oh, it's okay. I shook my head quickly. I didn't mean that it was a bad thing, it's just something I noticed. But other people would find it to be a strange way of speaking, wouldn't they? She seemed very serious about it, reflective even. By the way, would you mind explaining what happened earlier while we eat? Yes, I intend to. I see. Okay, so we're going to dinner with her now. That's kind of a thank you for saving her. Rise-san led me to an open-air cafe in the line of shops near the station. I knew about it since I lived in the small town until just last year, but I'd never been inside it before. Are you sure about this? I hear this place is expensive. Of course, it's actually more reasonable than you expect, so please don't worry about it. Well, if you insist. My stomach growled again, though I tried to stop it. You do seem rather hungry. You should take better care of yourself or you'll rebound on your diet. Right, that's a good point. When I told Rise-san I didn't have any money, she didn't seem to understand that I was flat broke. Rise-san opened the menu. It was intricately bound, and just looking at it caused my head to spin. It's so expensive. It looked like an Italian restaurant, and one pasta dish would cost me 2,000 yen. This is definitely a high-class place. At any rate, there was a clear difference between Rise-san's standard of living and my own. As long as we're here, I thought we'd get a full-course meal. Do you mind, or would it be better to refrain? Oh, no. I shook my head quickly. The whole diet thing was just on a whim. I'm quitting it right now. I see. I think that's a fine idea myself. Rise summoned the waiter with a practiced manner and ordered a full-course meal for both of us. No wine, please. You don't drink, do you, Messiah-san? No, I'm too young, actually. Oh, I see, so age was the most important thing. What? Oh, well, here we're at soft drinks. Which would you prefer? I'll have an oolong tea. I'll have the same. Very well. Waiter left. Rise turned her eyes down to the table. That really is the most important, but I need to be precise. She whispered something to herself, then looked up at me. I will ask you plainly, how old are you, Messiah-san? How old am I? Yes. She started staring straight in my eyes as though this question was of the utmost importance. Well, I told her my age. She let out a small sigh and her shoulders sank. I see, the same age as me then. My answer depressed her. I guess that was a bad thing. But why? I didn't understand her reaction at all. I'm currently attending Vincent S. Pirate Girls Academy. Vincent S. It's an odd name. Oh, that's right. Vincent S. is a school for upper class girls, isn't it? That's amazing. That explained her proper way of speaking. Well, I suppose so. After all, it is a charm school. I had meant it as a compliment, but Risa-san seemed less than happy about it. Vincent S. Girls Academy. Even I'd heard of it. It was famous all over the country. It was out in the mountains, a 30-minute bus ride from the station, a true paradise for women. The locals always said half in awe and half sarcastically, it's where the nobles live. Wait, I thought Vincent S. was a boarding school and the students weren't allowed out. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. No, you are correct. Well then, oh, of course, it's spring vacation. Risa said, shook her head again. We're forbidden to leave during spring vacation. The break is so short and there's so much to do as we graduate to the next year. Oh, well then why are you here? I'm a bit of a delinquent. Really? Well, that part is a joke, but I do sneak past Vincennes security and go wandering around at night. Wow, wait, wandering? Is that a joke too? No, that part is true. Though it sometimes gets me into trouble. Is this city considered relatively unsafe? Trouble, like before, you mean? Oh no, that's a different matter. I believe it's not a place for women to walk around alone at night. I wonder if those are people from the academy coming together. That seems very likely. I didn't quite understand, but it seemed she was serious about the wandering. I wanted to ask her, what are you wandering around for, but she spoke up before I could. But Masai-san, if I may, what school do you attend? Oh, I stammered for a moment, but finally told her the name of the school I planned on attending. Though in reality, before I started going there, I still had to cancel my original transfer. I know this may seem like a strange question, yeah? Masai-san, you are attending the school that officially, aren't you? Huh? I struggled to keep my voice down. How did she know? Do I really look like a homeless person after all? I took a subtle whiff inside my shirt. Well, I had gotten pretty stinky after all. You are, aren't you? When I didn't answer her immediately, she asked again. Someone of good character who could start at a new school this year. Someone like that would just fall into our lap so easily. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm so sorry. A self-conscious smile appeared on her lips. I keep mumbling to myself, there is a reason why I asked you to accompany me, so I'll explain. Sure. Even setting the matter of the people chasing her aside, Risa-san's manner raised so many questions. I was hoping her explanation would answer some of those questions. But first, she looked off in another direction and smiled brightly. It looks like the hors d'oeuvres have arrived. Why don't we eat? Whoa, there they are. The conversation was suddenly a distant blur as I filled up my stomach for the first time in ages. I wasn't sure when I might get a decent meal again, so I wanted to replenish myself as much as I could here. We're so sorry for the wait. This is scallop and botan shrimp carpaccio. Whoa. The waiter couldn't leave soon enough as I took my fork and started to eat. Oh my god. You really should eat slower. I'm afraid you might choke. So good. Are you crying? You're so funny. Risa-san laughed at me, but I didn't care. I've never seen a person eat that way before. Sorry, I'm being rude. So rude. No, not at all. It's wonderful to see a person enjoying their food. Well, I believe I'll join you. I can hardly say I'm not hungry myself. We were eating dessert, something called dulce, and drinking espresso. I felt wonderfully full. Whew, that was great. It was really, really great. It was. Every time I come to Papa Tor Moonrock, I always eat too much. The food certainly was good, but no sauce made food seem as delicious as an empty stomach did. What kind of pasta doesn't have sauce in it? That's such a shame. Thank you, I needed that. What? Needed what? Oh, I leaned back in my chair to rest my stomach, a blissful smile on my face. Just then I felt a rustle in my back pocket. I pulled out the sheet of beat-up newsprint from my pocket. Oh, that's right. Is that the newspaper? Yeah, could you give me a minute? I opened it with a rustle. It was just one page, but it happened to be the one with the winning numbers written on it. I checked the letter numbers. Group 10, number 161375, huh? I was pretty sure I didn't win, but I paid 300 yen for the thing, so I wanted to check. I began tracing the list of numbers up, starting from the bottom. No winners. It's not number 2 either. Well, that's the way it goes. When I checked number 1, though, I saw the number 161375. I recognize that number. We won. Yay. Oh my god, we won 100 million yen. That's like $1 million. Sweet. My breath caught in my throat. Wait, this has got to be some kind of a mistake. I checked it again. It was the number 1 on the newspaper list. I read it aloud in my head. 161375. What? Well, what is it? Wait. I tried to remain calm. It wasn't all about the number. There was also the group ID. What? So, well, I guess winning the numbers is not enough. Okay, this is group 10. These are the numbers for group 10. The group on my ticket was 10. So we won. We won a lot of money. Awesome. We can now pay our debts and not be homeless anymore. That's amazing. What a stroke of luck, right, guys? That's right. What was the date? It would be rather devastating if this turned out to be last year's paper. My hands trembled, causing the newspaper to rustle as I unfolded and appeared at the date. Today is March 31st, 2011. I checked the newspaper date. It was definitely today. Whoa. I should have felt happy, but it's like something had shorted out in my brain. I just let out a soft moan. What's going on, Messiah-san? You've gone pale. Was it something in the food? Research, give me a minute, please. Yes? Here. I handed her the one lottery ticket and the newspaper. Could you compare these for me? I think I might be dreaming. Ah, a lottery ticket? Terrified of her reaction, I tilted my head downward and shut my eyes tightly. Why, this is amazing. This is a winning lottery ticket. Wow. So sorry. I'm going to cash this in real quick. Be right back. At this time of night? Like, what kind of place could you go to cash in like $1 million lottery ticket? That seems kind of crazy. Damn, showed up there in a hurry. Did that bastard realize we were coming? We should probably pay these guys as soon as possible. They look pretty mad. I don't know, it didn't look like it to me. Yeah, what a weird guy. Those people. Rise's breath caught in her throat as the two men suddenly approached her. Rise had run into trouble before during one of her walks around town at night. Those men were the source of that trouble. Oh, so she knows these men. Interesting. Hey lady, still summoning the lower role after what happened last time? You're gutsier than you look. She struggled to keep from shaking. She wasn't going to let these men see her sweat. Besides, they can't do anything with so many people around. You're rather gutsy yourselves. Kidnapping is a serious crime and the police will catch you. You weren't even kidnapped. How would you know? That's right. The two men of them had tried to kidnap Rise. She thought wearing a uniform would help her in her scouting endeavors, but it had also made her the perfect target. At the time, the man had said, "Hey, that's a Vincennes uniform, ain't it? You must be loaded, right? You could make us some real money on ransom." She clawed at his face as hard as she could, then ran away at top speed. Despite that, Rise had continued to wear her conspicuous uniform. Maybe she really was gutsy that way. You really scratched the hell out of me back then. How could you do that to a handsome face like this? Rise refused to acknowledge his words. What business do you have here exactly? You can't do anything in front of all these people. Nah, the business we have isn't with you. It's with that kid. Are you referring to Messiah-san? Yeah. What business could Messiah-san possibly have with people like you? The henchman slammed his fist down on the table, causing the other restaurant patrons to jump in surprise. The waiter rushed towards them. "Excuse me, sir. You seem to be making the other customers uncomfortable." The underling ignored him and raised his voice. "That asshole owes us a ton of money." owes you money. How much do you think, huh? This much? He held it in his hand and all 5 of his fingers. How much was that exactly? If he doesn't pay it back, we'll take it out of his hide. Why does Messiah-san owe you money? Huh, he didn't tell you? He's leading you on, huh? He isn't leading me on. The subject simply never came up. You mean you ain't his grind? He raised his pinky finger and spoke the unfamiliar word. Rise didn't know what he was talking about. Looks like she's not. Too bad. If she was, he could make a good working. He could make good working her at a bathhouse. Bathhouse? Damn, she's pretending like she doesn't know what we're talking about. I think maybe she really don't know. Well, she is a rich girl. He suddenly drew closer and Rise pulled back. He had an unpleasant smell about him. Rich old ladies like you gotta be real careful with choosing your boyfriend, am I right? You wouldn't want to be forced to do dirty work to support your boyfriend, right? Right? Anyway, that guy's damaged goods. His own dad sold him out. He did? A kid who gets abandoned has got no choice but to turn to crime, right, boss? Anyway, keep an eye out for him. His dad's pretty crook. His dad's a petty crook. Yeah, his dad's a petty crook. A frog will always be a frog. You can bet he's after money. I bet he ran out so he could stick you with the bill. Leaving a woman to pay the bill. The place on the table clattered as Rise found herself rising to her feet. She didn't know why these insults against a man she had only just met caused her blood to boil so. She didn't know, but she wasn't about to stop herself either. Ah? Rise's right hand moved through the air. Oh, she smacked him. Smack. Ah? At first, the man had no idea what happened. He remained where he was, head turned from the force of the slap. Money is not the only worth a person has, neither is parentage. Messiah-san is a fine man. You will take back what you said. You little. His face slowly began to purple. His eyes opened so wide it looked like his eyeballs might pop out. You think I won't hit you because you're a girl, huh? Ah. There was a scream. Hurrah. As the man lashed out at her, Rise could only cower in fear. The bank was already closed, so I couldn't cash in the ticket. Well, duh, it looks like it's nighttime. What bank is open at night? Well, I'll do it tomorrow. There was no real rush, and it was probably strange that I had rushed off like that earlier. This is the first time I ever want to thank my old man. I held out the letter from my hand just to make sure it wasn't one to go flying somewhere. The night before, my entire future seemed black with no prospects at all. Now it was shining, all thanks to one little ticket. Now I can pay back the debt and cut ties with the mafia once and for all. Then I could go to school. I could drop at least one of my jobs. I could make 100 off friends. I say I could make 100 friends. And then maybe I could get back into contact with her. My childhood friend who I hadn't seen nor heard from since I graduated from my school. Aitatsu Auxiliary School. They don't make these words easy, do they? I returned to the restaurant with a spring in my step. As I did, an unbelievable sight greeted my eyes. Uh-oh. What are they doing to Rise? There's a scream. I have to get there in time. Action shot. Oh, nice. There was the sound of bone cracking. I'm about to feel pain like none I've ever felt before. I wonder if I could take it. That's what Rise was thinking, but then... there was no pain at all. Hesitantly, Rise opened her eyes. It wasn't one of those filthy mafia men standing in front of her. It was him. Messiah-san. Ow, ow, ow. I had thrown myself recklessly into the conflict, but it seemed I had made it in time. Are you okay? Yes. I just managed to avoid anything vital, so I wasn't as badly hurt as I could have been. Damn you. The two goons faced me again. The restaurant was in panic. Man, this song is awesome. I quickly looked around for the waiter. He was using the phone, calling the police. I bet that would settle that at least, or so I might have said in another situation. But right now I couldn't let that be the end of it. How dare you try to hurt me, Stacy? I didn't usually get this angry. The better part of my nature always told me to lay out. I ignored it now and advanced upon the two goons. Messiah-san. I felt her grab my hand. I turned back to her, see her there, pale face and shaking her head. Tension drained out of my body. You better not show your face in here again. Oh, what's that now? The henchman sniffed diverse. Yeah, derisively. When you borrow something, you ought to pay it back. Your daddy never taught you that, huh? Well, actually, he never did. I know that right now. Well, forget about it. Out of the way, you showed me roughly. I got business with that woman there. Hey, I told you to move. The easily anchored henchman eyes wide as he grabbed at my collar. My body reacted before I could think. I dropped down suddenly. Huh? Because he was holding on to me so tightly, I ended up pulling him down with me. I rolled over once and quickly kicked him off me. Ah, the henchman went flying. He flew over the restaurant's fence, tracing an arc in the air before crashing to the ground. What the hell? Do you practice judo or something? I just picked it up naturally over time. It's not the first one I've dealt with people like. The boss helped his henchman off the ground and went on his way. I was met by gasps of surprise and applause from the people around us. That's right, everyone. Dinner and a show. I'm surprised you really are very strong. I guess so. Anyway, I'm sorry. What? Those guys are, well... No, Miss Ison, you have no need to apologize. I'm afraid I've had a run-in with them before, too. Really? They attempted to abduct me for ransom. It was quite a shock. I had no idea what to say to that. On that subject, do you think the police will come? Rise-san looked out towards the street. I saw the waiter on the phone with them, but it'll probably be a while before they arrive. There doesn't seem to be any damage to the restaurant itself. I looked around at the tables and the floor. None of the dishes were broken. Sorry, guys. They've just been upsetting for the customers. Why don't we take our leave before we have to deal with them again? She gave me a mischievous smile, which made me happy for reasons I couldn't explain. All I could do in return was nod. Now let me take care of the bill. I'll apologize to the manager myself, Miss Ison. Please wait outside. I knew why it made me so happy, because she wanted me to stay, because I knew we wouldn't be parting ways yet. But where were we going to go? Oh, that's right, I haven't heard her story yet. I stood in front of the restaurant thinking it over, when I was suddenly assaulted by the feeling I was forgetting something important. Huh? Wait a minute. I felt a violent unease creeping over me, but what reason did I have to be unhappy? The goods were gone. Rise-san seemed to want to be my friend. I had won the lottery. So money... The lottery ticket. I let out a sudden cry, my hand searching my clothing. I checked my pockets, but it's gone. 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 I couldn't find it anywhere. Wait a minute. Calm down. You had it when you arrived at the restaurant. I had lost it sometime after that. That's right. When I sent the guy flying. I marched back to the restaurant, searched every corner, but didn't find it. You can't be serious. My whole body went limp. I was afraid I might even lose bladder control, the thing that was going to ensure my rosy future. It all slipped through my fingers. But I did to save Rise-san. I guess it was worth it. I wasn't just making excuses. I really meant it. Aw, it sucks. Even so, the shock was so great that I couldn't do anything but stare. We were adopting this cat. For a moment, my mind boiled. Ah, the cat had saved us. What's wrong? Hey, you, that's not food. I left across the ground. My fingers got within 5 centimeters before the cat twisted its body away and I fell flat on the ground. Oh. With a trace of gratitude for the sausage they gave me, he arched his back fiercely and then ran off. He was carrying my lottery ticket. Wait. That darn cat. My cry rang out fruitlessly into the night. Excuse me, what is the matter, really? I slumped down on the ground, unable to move on myself. Oh, look, the police car's coming. We should really leave. Right. I dragged myself to my feet. She started brushing off the dust on my clothing. You really are an interesting person, Miss Ison. I explained to her everything about my debt. I didn't intend to tell her at first, but it seemed the goons had mentioned it, so I thought I'd better give her the full story. I was going to use that to pay my debt, but now I guess there are no easy answers in this world. I'm so sorry. Huh? The reason he was so angry was because I struck him. I was responsible for the incident. No, it's not your fault. I've destroyed your entire future. I don't know how to make it up to you. It's not your fault. It's because he got so angry. I should have just let it go. But when I saw that he was trying to hurt you, it just made me lose my temper, and so... how is your face? It's fine. The pain was almost gone. I had completely forgotten it until she reminded me. But she produced a handkerchief from her handbag and pressed it to my nose. You're still bleeding a little. It's okay, I don't even want to get it dirty. Now hold still for a moment, Messiah said. She grabbed my wrist so I stopped trying to move. At this range I could feel her breathe on me. For some reason it made me tense up. But that was pretty brave of you, Rise. You really slapped him? No, it really wasn't. I just couldn't take it any longer. Did they do something to you? No, nothing like that. It's just how much was that lottery ticket worth? Huh? 100 million yen? I'll speak to my grandmother. She may have that much. No, it's fine, really. Rise fixed her expression in a frown as she continued to wipe at my face. There, it's all clean. Thanks. We started walking again. We didn't discuss where we were going. It just felt like we were taking a walk around the neighborhood. I guess this is what she meant by wandering. I realized we've been talking about me all this time. Rise still hadn't said what she was going to say. What were you going to do? About your life, your school? I don't know. I don't have a home. I can't go to school. I guess I'll probably end up going to live with my mom. Live with your mother? Well, my parents divorced a long time ago. Then she started up a new family somewhere else. It seems a little rude for me to just drop in on her. Well, then if I may... Yeah? Her tone was strangely earnest. I tilted my head curiously. It seems as though your daily life plans are a bit of a blank slate beginning tomorrow. Well, that's true. My daily life plans. It was true. I was thinking, perhaps, if you wouldn't mind, what if what I'm trying to say is... Her gaze became more determined as she stared into my eyes. I can guarantee you room and board. I met her gaze. I had no idea what she was talking about. Did she want me to move in with her? No way. For some reason, that delusion got me more excited than the practical concern of having room and board. Messiah, yes. She took in a deep breath, then released it and spoke. Would you consider enrolling in Evangile? Huh? That's an all-girls school, though, isn't it? Yay, hour into the game, and just now getting the opening theme. What? That was it? Welcome. Today is April 4th. Interesting, it's only 2 days away from the actual date. Can't sleep. Khan will eat me. I was wide awake as the dawn drew near. There was no comparing to the bed and what I was in to the worn-out mattress from my cheap old apartment. Even so, I couldn't sleep a wink. I still can hardly believe it, though. I had been living in this room for several days now, but I still felt like I was living in a dream. I was in a dorm at Vincent's private girls' academy, the Thousand Leaves dormitory. How did we get in an all-girls academy? That makes no sense whatsoever. It was a complete woman's paradise where the teachers and staff all female stuck out like a sore thumb. Why did they let me stay here then? There was a reason for that, of course. Without even thinking about it, the events of that night came floating back to me. The night we met, Rise Sandsworth. It's like a destined rendezvous. Her smile as she said them. How should I explain it? We looked at the schedules and found that the last bus had left much earlier, so we began walking instead. We were heading toward Vincent's Girls' Academy. It was a 30-minute trip by bus, so it was no easy walk, and it was in the mountains, so the trek was mostly uphill. Even so, it was full of such a curious sense of exhilaration, the task didn't feel tiring at all. It became colder as night passed on, but even that was strangely pleasant in its way. Are you really saying you want me to walk the whole way? You've been outdoors since last night, after all. I'm fine. Are you okay? Risa? I'm fine, of course. There's something quite enjoyable about walking the roads alone like this. Her smile was dazzling. I couldn't take my eyes off her. Walking side by side with her like this, I couldn't shake the thought that fate had played a role in our meeting. I suppose I should tell you my own purpose in all this. The reason I wander night after night is because I've been searching for the right type of man. Right type of man. A man like you. Of course. But of course, I had no idea how I should go about finding such a man. So I simply walked aimlessly. As you might suppose, it was very inefficient. The requirements were extremely strict as well. He must have the right character, and he must be able to enter a new school beginning this year. If I may be more honest, I was unconvinced that I would be able to find such a man myself. At this time, I had almost given up hope. I even had the Guardian chasing me as well. The Guardian. The group of four from before, they're actually our school security. I knew it. So obvious. Oh. That explained why they spoke so politely, right up until they thought I was a pervert. But why was school security after? Because I'm a delinquent. What I mean is I broke the rules by leaving school grounds. Even though the school used to allow it before spring vacation began. The school did? But that was only supposed to last through the third term, so at the moment it was technically against the rules. First they didn't catch me, of course. Today was the first time. That's how we ended up the way you saw. I really am tired. If I had taken the bus, they would have caught me. I ended up running a marathon. Marathon. You ran all the way from school to the station? That's amazing. I was desperate after all. If they caught me, I would have had to stop, and then my entire plan would have been put to a halt. I didn't want to give up, at least not without doing everything I could. The school approved at first, which means your plan has some connection to the school, right? She nodded. So, what is your plan? Reforming the school. Reforming the school. As you know, Vincent's girls' school, but there's been talk of making it co-educational. Co-educational. I was shocked. That'd be a huge change even for a normal school. Vincent's was a school with such a long history. The reason why is because we're losing students. If we allowed boys to join, simple arithmetic suggests that our numbers would double. I don't know if that would... Maybe not double. You get some, well, okay, yeah, maybe it would. My grandmother is the board chairwoman, so I know firsthand the high cost of running the school. To put it plainly, we have financial problems. Financial problems, well, the threshold does seem high. Threshold. There's a high entrance fee, right? That limits you to the people who can afford to go. Yes, it appears to be the reason. We rebuilt the main school building, which hurts us financially, at least it was. It became clear that we could not continue doing things as we've done. But despite all this, we still resist change. This must be attributed to the pride we feel to being part of a traditional school. Yeah, I can imagine. The board of directors has been in chaos. Naturally, they all feel an emotional attachment to preserving Vincent's traditions. But the reality cannot be ignored. If Vincent's were to disappear entirely in the future, that would be the worst situation possible. Such school reforms are only alternative. The traditionalists oppose it, but there are many who are willing to follow the course reality demands. After several years of debate, the chairwoman finally made a decision. To return to the school's founding principle, at the meeting, the chairwoman said this board has been debating this for several years. It is clear that we cannot come to a decision ourselves. As such, I propose that we leave the question for the students to decide. Leave it to the students. Oh, my stupid dog is barking. My goodness. Sorry if you can hear that, guys. The founding spirit of Vincent is independence, autonomy, and self-respect. In other words, make decisions yourselves. It was originally founded by a mission, so it has a bit of that frontier spirit guiding it. A mission, you mean like special ops? No, I mean a religious mission. Vincent is a Christian school. Of course it is. Oh. Of course, this distanced itself from the mission now, but even so, the chairwoman's decision was approved and a concrete plan was devised. It is one thing to follow the school's guiding principle, but to spring the question of integration on students now would only confuse them. Yeah, I guess that's true. Many of the students who have been with us since primary course have never met a man besides their fathers or brothers. That's amazing. They had never seen a man before, but friends would be totally out of the question. They couldn't make an informed decision, so the board decided to begin a trial I keep saying interrogation, but no, it's not. It's integration for a short time on a small scale. I see. I was starting to get the picture. But once that was agreed upon, the headmistress, who was firmly opposed to the idea, decided to water down the plan substantially. She watered it down. Normally, the school would recruit through formal application, but they won't be doing that for this. If there's no formal application, then how could boys get in? I was going to find them. Ah, so you were like the scout. So that's what she meant by the right type of man. Yes, and I wore my uniform so that I could communicate my intentions more quickly to those with whom I spoke. But the headmistress was so cruel. What do you think she said to me? For going to leave that much to the students, let them find the boys as well was too much. But she forced the issue, so there was no fighting. While the others hesitated, I raised my hand straight up, because I was on the side for reform. You said you want the school to integrate? Yes. I love Vincennes, so I want to make sure it's still here after I graduate. I see. There was an old saying, eagles don't catch flies. I was certain that was a noble sentiment, but to hear that even in continued decline was a different matter entirely. A painful reform or a slow death, Risa had chosen the former. I can see the school gate from here. Ah, finally. Since we have been talking the whole way, that long trip seemed to pass in no time. As I said, your time here will be limited, of course. If integration is approved, you'll be able to remain until graduation. But is that acceptable too? By limited, how do you mean? 1 year. At the end of the year, we'll conduct a grand vote, a popular vote that will determine your fate. 1 year. It really was short. I still had 2 years of school before graduation, but that was only if the school voted against integration. There was still hope. More importantly, if I refuse, I would have to say goodbye to recess. I will leave T-Town behind, go to live with my mother, and probably never see her again. I couldn't stand that thought. I wasn't going to let it end here. Overwhelmed by that feeling, I nodded. Okay, I accepted those terms. Do you really? Yeah, it's still better than my current situation. I wasn't even exaggerating. Yeah, we lost the ticket. Thank you, I'm sure you got to hear that. She placed a hand on her chest and let out a deep sigh. She looked up at me, her eyes appeared dewy in the moonlight. I can't believe that my decision made someone this happy. That realization sent a new surge of happiness roaring up inside of me. Ah, I wonder why. I suppose it's because you saved me, but from the first moment I saw you, I thought, you must be the one. I really am. I'm so glad. Yes? Oh, I decided not to mention my vague feeling of deja vu. I said I brought up another subject, but are you sure you won't get in any trouble from the goons? I don't think those guys are going to give up until they get what I owe them. Well, it should be fine, but since it has excellent security, it's an all-girls school after all. In addition, if you have the Guardian on your side, they're quite reliable. I'm sure they'll have no trouble against that two-man gang. I see, I'm glad to hear that. Well, let us go. After the Guardian chased me, I never dreamed that I would return feeling so triumphant. When we arrived at the gate, a different Guardian appeared. Recess explained the situation, and they let us pass without issue. Wow, the cherry trees are beautiful. Yes, they truly are. If this were a public park, it would surely have people coming from all over for night viewings of the trees. That's how beautiful they were. These cherry trees are the pride of Vincennes. When the new students come in April and full of anxieties, these trees are here to greet them. Wow. I suppose you're a new student as well. The flowers in bloom did seem like they were here to meet me. I spent the entire year running away from people, but now there was a place they wanted me. That made me so happy. Risa walked around to stand in front of me and held out her right hand. I am so glad I met you tonight. And it wasn't just a place. Right now, right in front of me, there was a person who wanted me to be here. I gritted my teeth to keep from trembling with joy and reached out to take her hand. Welcome to Vincennes. Alrighty, I think I'm going to cut that off here, and I will see you in part 3.